Module 2.2, Budgeting. Do you really need it? Here you'll see an example of a monthly budget. Each month we obviously have bills that come up. But in addition to this, we have discretionary expenses such as food and clothes, eating out, saving, and other fun stuff. And everything in your budget should be accounted for based on what you're planning to spend. If you go from month to month without a budget, you might not even think about how much you're spending until you realize that you have no money left until the next month or next pay period. Obviously, your expenses will probably be quite a bit higher than you thought they were when you lay out a budget like this. John makes about $35,000 per year in gross income. That means that he works 2,000 hours a year, making $17.50 per hour. He's single with no dependents. Well, John's budget doesn't break down items enough, such as food, clothes, mandatory. It might be better for that item to be broken down into different items. He has come up with a monthly total of what he expects to spend, and he has multiplied it by 12 to reach an annual total of $29,700 per year. Is this a reasonable budget? Think about it. Well, John does seem to have considered each of the monthly expenses he incurs. His income is actually gross income at $35,000 per year. What about his taxes? You must consider your net income, not your gross income, when devising a budget. John makes $35,000 a year in gross income. This means that because he is single with no dependents, he's going to owe about $5,900 on his federal income tax return. In addition to this, he may also be liable for state income tax and even city income tax. For example, if he lives in New York City. The reason that the income tax is such a large percentage of gross income is because not only must we include the federal income tax, but also the FICA payroll deductions, including Social Security and Medicare. This can add up to a significant proportion of your income. A takeaway message from this module is that life can be very expensive. Even with $35,000 gross income per year, which is a typical salary for a school teacher or many other jobs, John doesn't have a whole lot of money left over. He's saving 10% of his net income. This is an adequate amount, but it also could be a lot better. Notice that John doesn't have cable TV, and his cell phone and internet bills are quite low compared to many bills of people who have iPhones. Those bills can be well over $100 per month and are prime targets for reducing your expenses. When you're making your budget, don't forget to factor in expenses that occur on a semi-annual or annual basis, and divide those by 6 or 12 and put them in there and make sure you're saving money so that you can pay the lump sum when the amount is due, such as car insurance or property taxes. For car insurance, John has $200 a month combined with health insurance, which might be sufficient if he's receiving a federal subsidy on his health insurance or an employer subsidy. However, it is usually cheaper to pay your car insurance in a lump sum every 6 months rather than month to month. So you should definitely do this if you have the foresight to do that. Expenses that occur on a less than monthly basis can be averaged into your monthly budget. Make sure to save enough money so that you can pay these expenses when they are due. Can you skip budgeting? If you always make excellent decisions and have a high enough income, you can probably safely skip budgeting. However, budgeting gives you an excellent picture not only of your financial habits, but also of where you can make improvements in your daily and weekly spending habits. So I wouldn't recommend skipping budgeting at all, especially if you're trying to become more financially literate.